How's your pre-season tracking, Garrick?
Really good. Compared to this time last year, I'd come off 2 operations, a shoulder and a hernia, and had been in rehab for almost the whole of the pre-season. So in comparison to last year, I feel really good. I've had time to train with the group for the whole pre-season, so at the moment I feel really good.
Do you see your role changing much, or do you think you'll be playing similar type of role to last year?
I think it'll change a little bit. I think I'll probably play a little bit more a defensive role this year. I played a bit midfield last year with some defence as well, but I think with losing Adam McPhee and a few other guys over the end of last season, so I think I'll play a bit more defence.
Obviously, Adam McPhee almost played that third tall defender. How much of a challenge would that be for someone like you, sort of like 3 or 4 centimetres shorter?
It would be a challenge. I'm not sure that's probably my role to play that third defender. We've still got a lot of talls. We've got Jono and Alex Silvani and Luke McFarlane, Zach Dawson. We've still got the tall sort of height there to play on those guys. I think it's our running defenders will be more a position for me.
Do you tweak anything about your pre-season for that role? I guess midfield's probably more running. I know you need to run a lot in defence as well, but do you make changes?
Not really. I think it's a bit of a different kind of running. There's a bit more repeat speed sort of thing going on as a defender, but pre-season's pretty much the same. Obviously training in a different position. Football related is a bit different, but the running's pretty much the same.
You said obviously you're in a better place this time compared to last year. What about the team? Do you think they're ready to go in, say, 2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We definitely are. We had a lot of guys as well last year in rehab at this sort of time of the year, and at the moment we've only got a few. So as far as having players on the field, we're well above where we were last year, and I think that having a full year playing under Ross last year has really helped us coming into this year's pre-season. We've all got a bit of an understanding of the game plan already, and it means that we can put a lot of things into practice rather than spending a lot of time in a schoolroom, you can put it that way.
And any update on Anthony? Have you guys seen him around the club, or is he still taking some time?
He's still taking some time off. I think he's in really good spirits. I haven't seen him for a little while, but I've heard good things. He seems to be going well from the guys who are the closest to him. I think the club's sort of giving him a little bit of space to get his head around going through another knee reconstruction. So I think he's going well, but they're giving him some time to get ready.
And just on the drug issue, mate, do you feel like that it's the right setup the way it is right now, or do you think things need to change? Or
Well, I think that there's obviously a big summit going on at the moment to discuss this sort of thing, but the drug testing's been going on for a long time now, and year by year there's getting more and more tests being done, off-season, pre-season, so I'm sure they're on the right track, but it's a big discussion at the moment, obviously, so I think today they'll find some answers and the rest of us will get found out later.
There's been a lot of discussion about what is now viewed as a loophole where players can self-report and avoid a positive test. From your knowledge of what other players think of this, would the players be willing to help tighten that loophole a little bit, or do they view that as too much of an intrusion on their privacy?
It's hard for me to speak on other players' behalf, but I think the self-reporting works really well if it's the medical focus, it's working the way that it's supposed to do. If for some reason someone is doing a self-report for the right reasons, for a medical sort of point of view, that's what it's there for. But if there is a loophole and it's being taken advantage of, I'm sure that players will think that they're being taken advantage of as well.
Garrick, losing McPhee, Broughton and Robertson, are there young players this pre-season that you think can step up and come into the team?
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. Tommy Sheridan's been training really well. He's a fantastic runner and works really hard off half-back, and Hayden Sloyth's been doing the same sort of thing. Lee Spur's taken leaps and bounds again, and we've got other guys who have played. Nick Subin, who's looking really good in the midfield, who can come back and play that role if need be. So I'm sure we can fill those sort of roles, no worries.
What about Josh Simpson? We saw him do a couple of really classy things out there today. Is he pretty incredible for a first-year guy? He
is, yeah. He's one of those players that really plays on instinct. He a little bit like Hayden Ballantyne, runs around, he's all over the place, hard to catch, and really just does what he thinks at the time, and more often than not, it's right. And not many people can move the way that he does and kick like he does, so yeah, he'll be fantastic.
Do you think he could play this year?
Yeah, I'm sure he can. He's probably a little bit light on. He'll spend a bit of time putting some weight on in the gym and eating a lot and just eating, sleeping and doing weights. But I'm sure that if he gets called upon, he'll be ready.
How are you handling the heat, Garrick, in this pre-season?
Yeah, fine. We really like having to train in this sort of heat. It makes things a lot easier down the track. We're in a lucky position that we get to sort of get through a pre-season in this sort of heat, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's something we're getting used to. We've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah. Have the demands gone up this year under Ross?
I think a little bit. He is one of those guys that's really demanding no matter where you're at in your career, and he's always pushing for PBs in running and guys to put on weight, and he always wants improvement no matter how small it might be. As long as you're improving, you're on the right track.